Given this current situation that we're in of social distancing, of quarantining, maybe we're experiencing some things that we're not particularly used to. Maybe we're experiencing feelings of isolation or of solitude. These two terms might sound like they're the same thing, but in fact they're quite different. You see, the common denominator a lot of people think of isolation and solitude is being alone. But that's not how we should look at this. There's really two things that we should examine when considering what's the difference between isolation and solitude. And so the first thing that we need to think about, like always, is Christ. The second thing that we should be thinking about is our attitude towards Christ. And so the difference is really quite clear. You see, we can define isolation as intentionally closing ourselves off from the presence of Christ. And what comes of this? Feelings of worry, anxiety, distracting thoughts, or negative feelings. And in solitude, we fully embrace Christ. And what comes of this? Feelings of consolation, of contentment, and really growth. You know, I tell people often that God speaks to us in whispers. This is beautifully highlighted all throughout the scriptures, but especially in the Old Testament. Take a look at the first book of Kings. God is having a conversation with the prophet Elijah, and he tells Elijah to go up on that mountain, and I will pass you by. So Elijah goes up on the mountain, and it says that a great wind came and tore the mountain apart, but that God was not in the wind. And then it says that there was a great earthquake, but God was not in the earthquake. And then it says that there was a great fire, but God was not in the fire. But following the fire, there was a gentle whisper, and that was the Lord. And so hopefully during this time, we're not feeling so much feelings of isolation, but rather of solitude. And so maybe during this time, we could be feeling pretty bored or alone. Or maybe it feels like we can never really get a minute to ourselves. And while things now can be kind of frustrating, or it seems like it's a big struggle what we're going through, we do have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to listen to the Lord a little bit more closely, to try to figure out what is he saying to me? What is he trying to whisper to me? Because we know that he's never far from us. He himself told us this when he said, "I am with you always, even until the end of time."